Hi Aries, welcome to your week ahead Taroscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, these readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Aries, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to get a clearer, more complete picture of how they speak to you. With that said, if you are a continued subby, you know Rafi loves you. And if you are new to my channel, please don't forget to hit that like, share or subscribe button should it resonate with you. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my deck of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. Just throwing them all over the space. So one more shuffle. It's way too many to read. All right, so your key to the week this week is the Hierophant card. Remember, this card very often talks about the bigger institutions or structures in our lives that we might be tied to, forced to connect with. One of the things that I've been seeing a lot with this card of late, though, when doing personal readings at the moment, is a lot of people are having a crisis of faith. And this week, Aries, maybe you are. Maybe you're looking at humanity and thinking, holy crap, we're fucking doomed. You know, maybe you are looking at interpersonal connections. Maybe you are looking at your own belief structure in some way, shape or form. And very often when our belief structure in our world starts to crumble or starts to shift, it's because we're about to reach for or go for a new level. And in a lot of ways, I actually think this might be that week for you. So if you're having a crisis of faith, it's not that anyone or anything has abandoned you. It's just that your point of reference or your personal understanding of life is starting to shift and starting to change. This could be, sometimes it can be really scary. Sometimes it can be really disconcerting, but holding true to what you know and to believe to be true on those deeper levels, things that are tried, true and tested for you, that is where you're going to find your strength, your faith and your power. So let's have a look. Your foundation card is the 8 of Cups. So this is about you letting something go this week, right? You are phasing something out, you're releasing something, and in a lot of ways it does suggest that you're walking away from an old paradigm. Aries, this could be a ground shattering week for you, so let's get into it. For your actions and options this week, what are you doing? You have the 10 of Swords. It's all about endings, culminations and completions this week. This is about you guys letting something go on those deeper levels. For some of you, this could be you having a blowout. Remember, the 10 of Swords can sometimes be arguments. And usually when we talk about this, the 10 of Swords arguments, we're talking whatever is said, this is crossing that threshold. This is saying that thing that you said you would never say or that you knew you couldn't say, and you say it, and once you do, you know there's no coming back from that. This week it looks like you are in a lot of ways possibly ready to go to war for something, or ready to end something in a way that you know there is no coming back from. The one thing that I will say to you, you don't have to burn every bridge. If you know that you need to, or you feel that you need to, obviously that's your ultimate choice. But yeah, just consider it this week, because that 10 of Swords basically says that you're bringing something to an end. In a lot of ways as well, for some of you, this could literally be the end of an era, something that you've been known for a long time. Maybe a job, maybe a vocation, maybe a hobby. But it could just as easily be a solid relationship, or a relationship that maybe the outside world saw as solid, but you are now ready to be done with. For your communications and conversations, you have the 3 of Pentacles. Ooh, all right. So Aries, it looks like you guys are going back to school. And when I say going back to school, I mean literal school. 3 of Pentacles coupled with the Hierophant card, that's like a university or a school, or an institution, like a learning institution, and it's usually traditional academia. So this week you could be deciding, you know what, I'm going back to school to get my degree. This could be, you know what, I'm going to school to get a degree. This could be that you are deciding to finally embark on some form of study that you know is going to get you to your next level, that you know is going to take you to that next part of your life, that next phase of your life. What I will say to you as well, for a few of you Aries people, it looks like somebody that has been a trusted advisor is going to try to give you some advice this week, and there's a part of you that doesn't want to hear it. If it makes sense and it's good information, take it, right? And sometimes it's because, you know, maybe you've had a fallout with this person. Maybe this is the person that, you know, you're trying to part ways with. That doesn't mean that whatever their parting words are should be ignored. If it's good advice, it's good advice. This was the argument that I had, like, when I was a teenager. You know, teenagers are quite cliquey anyway. And at school, people used to be like, oh, they listen to grunge music, or they listen to R&B, and they're townies, and they listen to pop. And I was like, dude, like, if it's good music, it's good fucking music. Like, I don't care what genre it is. If I like the song, I like the song. I'm not a snob like that. Like, in other ways, I probably am, but not in that way. This week, it's very much that don't cut off your nose to spite your face. If someone gives you solid information, whether you like them as a source or not is irrelevant. If it's good info, it's good info. For those of you that work for somebody else, this could literally be you waltzing into the boss's office and saying, I'm done with being the bottom rung. You either find a way to help me get promoted, or you put me on that course that I want to do, or I'm walking. Like, this week, you're being very, very forthright or very forceful about what it is that you want and what it is that you expect. For those of you that are self-employed, business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, this is, quite frankly, maybe you are reaching out to an expert in your field to say, look, I want to learn how to do this. Maybe you want to learn how to do your own accounts. Maybe you want to learn to do, you know, maybe you're taking on a course that's going to help you do something on the internal aspect of your business, to maximize on it, and maybe to spend less money. Again, you might not necessarily like the person that ends up teaching you, or you might not like the way that they deliver the information, but that doesn't mean that it's no good. For your those of you that are retired or no longer working, this is you going back to school to gain a new skill or a newfound sense of understanding. For a lot of you, I actually feel like, for those of you that are retired or no longer working, I feel like the schooling that you'll be going into is something to do with, like, maybe not necessarily like hardcore medicine, but it's got an aspect or an element of healing to it. Very interesting. For your money and materials, you've got the Queen of Swords. So you've got the Queen of Swords right underneath the Ten of Swords. Remember, the Queen of Swords is about what you go to war for. The Ten of Swords is a bust up. Now, you couple these two together, and that tells me that this week there are going to be very interesting conversations about your money, your finances, and your resources. Maybe you've been overcharged for something for longer than you realized. Maybe you go to renew something and somebody tries to overcharge you, and you're like, no, hang on a second. They're like, well, you know, that's the way that things are from here on in. This might be a week where you're having to shop around or look for a better option. Maybe you're having to look for, you know, better prices, better rates for something as well. It does look like you'll be maybe not necessarily fighting or arguing, but there's something that you are pushing for when it comes to the finances this week, and you're not backing down for toffee. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, this is going to be your kidneys and your liver. I would this week pay attention to what you're ingesting in terms of your liquids. Like, if you're one of these people that always drinks coffee, always drinks tea, maybe drinks Red Bull like it's going out of fashion, all of that sort of stuff, this week switch it to the good stuff. All right, just plain old water will do. When it comes to your home and environment, this week there might be some challenge that comes to the home. Now, I don't want to say that this is, you know, like you're having a fight at home or anything like that, but there might be a challenge that comes up to the home that maybe you need assistance with. If that is the case, reach out. When it comes to your love and relations, you have the Eight of Wands. So communication coming in this week. For those of you that are single, whoever it is that you are connecting with or to, this person likely lives at a distance. So it looks like you guys might have to communicate sort of over Skype, over Zoom, possibly over phone. You know, if it's an international phone call, just mind your phone bill. You know, it could be as well, because this is under the Three of Pentacles, you might find that actually a friend or someone in your network, or maybe even a family member, tells you that there is somebody that actually likes you or is interested in you that you maybe didn't consider previously. So that could be good. For some of you, the words "I'm hot for teacher" definitely pops into mind. This could be somebody that you are studying with. It might be somebody that you're studying under as well. There could definitely be some sort of attraction going on there, so something to think about. For those of you that are married or partnered or in long-term relationships, it looks like this monetary challenge that comes up is something that you guys are going to have to talk a lot about. Now, it is the Eight of Wands, which tends to be a relatively jovial card, which kind of suggests that this week, if you're in a relationship, something about your relationship needs to be like there's something that's happening in your world that needs to be approached like a couple. So maybe it is the money. Maybe this is where you say, look, you know what, maybe it's going to be better for us to get a joint account. Maybe it's going to be better for us to split a bill rather than you pay this and I pay this. Like, there's something going on with the money this week for you couples, and this week I feel like you're going to get to the bottom of it. I don't think it's going to be a bad thing. I don't think it's necessarily going to be easy either though. All right, with that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic week. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.